The one thing that the WWE has had a really bad habit at is not only just booking matches, as well as trying to get feuds over, but when to try to push the right people, and when somebody is due for a push, especially the women on the roster. When is it the time to push a young talent? And also because of the fact they've been relying on way too many of the older talents and more established people throughout the years. Well, for the first time in a while, it looks like the WWE finally has one thing going for them that looks very strong in terms of the future, and that's the women's division in NXT, as they have a lot of budding young stars in that division that, if booked correctly, could lead the WWE into the future in terms of women's wrestling. And there's about a good amount of crop of young women that are waiting at the chomp of the bit to get to that next level in terms of becoming a full-time wrestler and in terms of becoming a future women's tag team champion or even a future women's champion on Raw or SmackDown. What's going on, everybody? This is NYG Jeffy T 3285, and I'm just going to go over a quick video on a bunch of the young prospects that have been beginning to emerge in NXT 2.0 recently, starting with the new NXT tag team champions for the women, and that's Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. The formerly Alanya Black from AEW, where she performed on Dark a couple of times, and then was signed to an NXT contract last year, and she's been performing as one of the top stars on the NXT brand for the women's division, including a couple of unfortunate losses to Mandy Rose, the current women's champion, but has been booked like a top star as of recently, as well as Roxanne Perez, the former Roxy from Ring of Honor and the former Ring of Honor women's champion, who has been getting a lot of high praise as one of the next great breakout women's wrestlers in the world. And she has been shot out like a cannon, has been pushed really hard. She won the breakout tournament for the women, earning a contract for a future world title match. She's been winning constantly. She has a good look, very good in the ring, still growing, but she has everything to be a top star in this business. And last night, her and her best friend Cora Jade were able to become the new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions as they defeated Toxic Attraction last night at Great American Bash. As a Toxic Attraction is a two-time women's champion right now, and they have been dominating the women's division for a while. That, of course, being Mandy Rose and her two young pupils that have been having a good run as well, Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. But Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez have everything to become two of the big-time future stars of the women's division, and not only that, but WWE in general. With how their looks, they have a good look, they're getting better in the ring, they connect well with the crowds. They just have to continue to be booked very well going forward, and there's no reason to think that these two women can't be the future of the business. Another one of them is Nikita Lyons, the former kickboxer slash musician slash everything. This woman has been getting over big time. She's been creating social media buzz since she first stepped foot into the WWE a few months ago, and she has everything to be a top star in this women's division going forward. She's even looking to be maybe challenging for that NXT Women's Champion in the future, as she was probably the favorite to win the NXT Breakout Tournament before injury unfortunately derailed those plans. But she's still got a great look, and she's still got a good upside where she could become a force in this women's division going forward. And another person of that nature is Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton, the former Olympian who competed in the Olympics years ago. She's also a former gymnast as well. Has a great look. Her gimmick is perfect for the type of personality she throws out there. She's good on the mic, very good in the ring, and she has that type of arrogant, uptight, better than anybody, snobbish heel character where she can be able to get over big time going forward. And I really think Tiffany Stratton, the sky's the limit for this woman as long as she continues to be booked well going forward. I think WWE has big plans for her in terms of being one of their top heels in the women's division in the next 5 to 10 years. Also, Valerie Lareda, the former MMA slash Bellator fighter, now is part of the WWE contract. I think WWE brought her in. She's the first American-Cuban woman brought into the WWE, and she looks like she's going to be somebody WWE is going to want to build around, push, as she's still very young. They want to push her to become one of the top stars in this company as well. I really think that Valerie Lareda has the shot to be part of that big-time women, like the next, like probably the Ronda Rousey of the WWE, except I think she could even be better because I think she has a better personality. I think her charisma looks better. Her look is better. She just has to develop more of the WWE / in-ring style that WWE displays. But I think that there is a good chance that Valerie Laredo could have a big future with WWE. So you have 5 people right there in the women's division right now in NXT 2.0 that I believe could be part of the future of this women's division if booked correctly. That's Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez, Tiffany Stratton, Nikita Lyons, and Valerie Laredo, as well as some other very good talented young women that are there too, like a Kiana James, who has a very good look. She has a solid size. She has a little arrogant personality, she's a secretary type look, but she thinks she knows better. Needs to develop a little bit more. Yulisa Leone and Valentina Feroz. They're a good young talent tag team that if you push them correctly, maybe you can have them as a future women's tag team champions in the NXT, maybe in the main roster. I mentioned it before. Gigi Dolan and JC Jane along with Mandy Rose have been the best thing, or one of the best things in NXT consistently for the women's division and NXT in general. I think these 3 are destined to be big-time stars on the main roster. You just have to book these people correctly, and I'm afraid that they're going to get lost in the shuffle, as we saw with Mandy Rose when she was on the main roster previously. I think Gigi Dolan and Mandy Rose could become stars with the personas they have right now. JC Jane I worry about a little bit if she gets split from the group, but I think right now Toxic Attraction could be something on the main roster. I agree with somebody like Lash Legend too. She has the look, she has the arrogance, she had her talk show recently, but she could be somebody that could become a force for that women's division. As you know, WWE is going to want to push her in the future. You have Tatum Paxley, who's with the Diamond Mine. She has a good look, as well as you have Ivy Nile, another young woman that could be another part of the women's division going forward. Those are 2 women right there, part of Diamond Mine, that have a strong look. They just need to work on their personality and their in-ring skills to work with the WWE, what they're looking for. You have Sophia Cromwell, who's right now the business manager for she's the business manager for right now for Von Wagner and Robert Stone, but she has a great look to her. Don't know how she performs in the ring yet. They haven't showed it, but she's the perfect type of valet / manager. You got Thea Hill that's right now messing around with the Chase University. Have to see what she can do, but she's another young prospect you can begin to push. You have Fallon Henley, who's been with Jensen and Riggs right now, the NXT UK Tag Team Champions. You saw what she can do when she was part of AEW Dark. This woman's got a lot of talent. You can see what she can do going forward, but I think the NXT Women's Division as a whole, there's a lot of potential right now with that division. You just need to make sure that you continue to hone that talent and you continue to get the most out of everybody. And when their opportunity is there, when the iron is hot, strike while it's there. If you like, and that's just my little overview of the NXT Women's Division. I think there's a lot of potential. You just have to make sure you push it correctly. If you like the video, please hit the like button below. Subscribe if you haven't already to NYG JeffET 3285 for more breaking news, updates, and chatter surrounding the WWE. Turn on the bell for the next notifications on the next short or video that drop. For the New York Giants, Brooklyn Nets, New York Mets, and WWE, as well as some food for thought. And leave a comment below on what you feel about the NXT 2.0 Women's Division overall. Who you think could be the next breakout star. What do you think of all the prospects there? And who do you think, when they get to the main roster, has the best chance to succeed? I hope everybody has a great rest of your Wednesday hump day. We'll see what happens on the next week's episode of NXT. Will Roxanne Perez be able to beat Mandy Rose and cash in and become not only the NXT Women's Tag Team Champion, but the next NXT Women's Champion? And for the rest of the NXT Women's Division, what do you think they're going to look for going into the future? Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Take it easy. And let's see what the WWE has for the rest of this week. Have a great rest of your Wednesday.